What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the blue color, playing as Hades. His name is Kimo. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Kvoth. The map is blue. Not Blue Lagoon. The map is Painted Desert. That's what the map is. And we are seeing Kimo going back in with his tried and true Oranos. Hades here. He's had one win against Oranos already with Hades. He's going to be trying it again in this game. We'll see how things are going to go. Kvoth has decided to not move away from Oranos this entire series. He doesn't want to try the guy out in this game. So, unfortunately, for the Gaia fans out there, the Kvoth fans, he has turned to the dark side completely. And he's completely lost to the dark side as it is. And we're all upset about it. But relics have been uncovered, and we're going to have to watch this game nonetheless. We see the trios both. This is a huge relic to have for Kimo as Hades here, because it gives an extra 2 range to your archers. And here's the thing. If Kvoth sees this, it will be worth it for him to manually heroize this Oracle fast in this archaic age and keep this away from Kimo. Why? Because an extra 2 range onto the Toxotes, right? Well, it means they've got 17 range. If we take a look at what the Terma has here, the Terma has only got 12 range. So the Toxotes are going to be able to sit out of range of those Terma by quite a significant margin, meaning for the Terma to get in and start hitting the Toxotes, they're going to have to run straight through those hoplites and Hippocon. It's going to be so tough for him. So it's going to be vitally important for him to keep that one away from Kimo there. We'll see if he will notice that or not. As we also have the Ring of Nibelung over here. 18-3 golden minute here for potentially for Kvoth as well. As we do see the Oracle sitting on this position, as the villager getting the gold up on this position as well. As at this point, Kvoth does not yet have the resources to heroize this Oracle Scout. But the villager's now coming over onto the hunt on this position quite early here. As we see the Rhinoceros getting left there for later, as the Oracle gonna get shanked away here. Kvoth, he does need to... Well, we'll see what's going to happen here. But he does have plenty of hunt here. So here's the thing. Kvoth could very easily get an Oracle hero out, grab this relic, take it home, and get himself the Ring of Nibelung, which is a decent relic to grab, and still get himself a 430 advance time here. So we'll see what he's going to be trying to do. But I imagine Kimo, he's getting his temple up. A little bit late on the temple, I believe, here from Kimo, but we'll see if he's going to get that early Ajax out that he so loves. Every single Hades player loves the early Ajax. I'm such a not fan of the early Ajax, but Kimo here looks like that's what he's going to be doing, as he's got plenty of villagers on the food. Temple going to be coming up here as well. As the Prometheus is now on the way for Kvoth. And I have to discipline my moderators here. And we do indeed see that that Kvoth will be attempting to steal this relic away. He's picked it up. He's going to be pulling this one back all the way to the temple here. The Ajax is on the way as well to try and chase this one down, but instead, we're just going to see Kvoth grabbing that Oracle hero all the way back to the temple as well, and we'll see how things are going to go. There's going to be a lot of damage done onto this Oracle hero, but it's not the biggest of deals. He grabs the relic, and this will help out the Terma against the Toxotes quite a bit, because now the Terma go from 12 range up to 14 range, meaning the Toxotes only have got 1 range advantage, which does end up being a huge deal. There's now the Citizen coming over onto this position to chop down the palm trees. Athena now hitting for Kimo, as Kimo will be able to drop this town center on the back very, very fast here. We do see the Valor being used there by Kvoth on his Oracle hero. Is going to be attempting to get some damage done. Military barracks, counter barracks up in the middle of the map here, ready to start putting pressure over here as well. 7 villagers onto this location here as the Oracle hero is going to come through. They basically what you want to do with these Oracle heroes is just go straight after the villagers. Don't worry about the town center here. We do see the villagers getting pulled off of this location as the Oracle hero going to try and chase this villager down. Will he be able to catch up to it? It's going to be very close as the villager does manage to get into the town center there. Promethean coming through here to get some more damage done. We see the Minotaur is in position here to help out. The Ajax here will be able to snipe down one of the Oracles. As Kvoth making a crucial mistake here, you just need to ignore the heroes. Your aim here is not to stop the town center from going up, but instead pick off a villager or 2 or 3 or 4, but he hasn't managed to do that. And this is effectively all Kimo wants here, is to get the town center up without losing any villagers, because he's going to be in a fantastic position after all is said and done. But the units are coming through now. The Chiron is in. The Minotaur is in. We see the shockwave coming through as some villagers now are going to start being taken out. But we see that Kvoth, he just has to pull back. He hasn't managed to pick off a single villager. And he loses every one of those Oracle heroes. And Kimo gets his town center up. This is an absolute nightmare for Kvoth in this game. Absolute nightmare. I'm not sure what happened there, but now Kimo's getting himself watchtowers. He's going to be in a very, very safe position with his second town center. The only problem for Kimo right now is he will be running out of Rhinoceros relatively soon, running out of Hunt relatively soon. We do see one villager getting taken down. A second villager going to be going down as well. He manages to garrison into that watchtower here. As a little bit of damage going to come through by those Murmillo, but not enough. As the army is already in position, we also see the Sentinels coming in to help defend on this position. That's a win there for Kvoth in a big way, because now this town center over on this location is not as safe. We just see a Gazelle over here gets pushed off to the corner there as some farms starting to come down. We'll see how Kvoth goes now after all is said and done. There's a wall coming up on this position for Kimo. The army of Kvoth searching around, looking for some villager kills here. Is this villager in going to be long distance gathering from this Gazelle? Does he have husbandry? He is getting husbandry, so it's actually, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's probably, yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. We do see Kvoth. He's actually found the villager as well, so that's going to be a big win here for Kvoth as the villager walks straight in here, and he will be losing that one. As Kimo gets hurt just a little bit. The units here for Kvoth scouting around. If we take a look at Kvoth's perspective, he just wants to see what's over there. He will be spotting a gold mine on this position. So if Kimo wants to go for some... if Kvoth wants to go for some sort of gold staff here, he might be in need of the Sky Passage shenanigans here in this game. Now, one thing that I would personally think wouldn't be a bad idea, once you start seeing the farms coming up, you've got to scout it. But once you start seeing the farms coming up for Kimo, the answer for the Atlantean player basically should be go heroic age here. Stop getting wood. Don't go for 3 town centers. 2 town centers is fine. Take the villagers off of the gold, off of the wood, jump onto food, go heroic age, and start thinking about how you're going to be going for a solid fight here. Don't need to build Terma anymore. They're not that useful. Arcus are going to be super value here as we see stables, military academies coming up here for Kimo. You got plenty of units out to put pressure on and keep Kimo on the back foot here. As we do see a stable. Oh. What? No. Oh. The stable will go down, but at what cost? 1, 2, 3 dead military units to take that stable down. There's good trades and there's bad trades, and then there's that. That's 1 stable, 100 wood plus the 2 villages worth of repair time there for 3 military units. That's not what you like to see. We are indeed seeing Kvoth now grabbing a forward town center. I like the play to grab the town center on the forward position, but there's got to be some sort of thought process behind it all. And we'll see what's going to happen here from the perspective of Kvoth to deal with this. But will he be able to hold on to this town center is the big question. As we see an archery range coming down, military units going to start coming through for Kimo. Kimo's got a very, very long road in front of him as the villagers do get pulled off the wood line here. The army of one Chiron and all of these military units here for Kvoth. It's just such a big, scary army here. I mean, he picks off the Minotaur, but Chiron and Ajax, with the help of the Sentinels... Just going to have a sneeze there, excuse me. With the help of the Sentinels, the Watchtowers, and the Townsend, it just means these units, they want to push into here. They just can't do all too much. They do manage to pick off 2 villages. He's going to be retreating away here. 16 villages or citizens for Kvoth now, as he's got his second town center up to the 48 villages of Kimo here. So you do see a wall getting up over here as Kimo needs to be deleting that one to prevent any units from sneaking around the side there. Nice play from Kimo. Good recognition of some of the weaknesses here as the town center is now up. The villages in the middle of the map here for Kvoth are managing to eat all of the hunt. This is a really big deal here for Kvoth. But what's going to be next is the big question. He stops production, which I do like. If he's going to be attempting to get to the next age, he's still getting himself a bunch of wood here. Lots of wood in the back. Tons of gold here. You can take these villagers off of gold and just eat this gazelle and he should be completely fine. I'm not sure what the resources are for at this point here for Kvoth. Over here we do see an armory coming up, so Kvoth is planning some sort of a heroic age here. As he runs through, he sees the army coming through. Still getting produced here for Kimo. Kimo's now full onto farms. He's got 7 farms over here. He's got 17 farms total, so his food income is going to start piling up. But Kimo needs to make the right decision here to go to the heroic age. We do see a handful of units are out in the middle of the map here, ready to start taking some decent fights here. Is one Hippocon going to be going down? The Hoplites will be falling here as well. Kimo's not going to be ready to start taking these fights just yet. There's the elephant going to be coming up there as well. Thea on the way now for Kvoth. Basically now Kvoth needs to decide, does he go in with like Mass Contarius or does he go in with Destroyer Arcus here? Mass Contarius isn't a bad idea when you go through Thea because you get access to that the Poseidon Secret. You only have to spend 600 resources to get your upgrades for your cavalry because you get a free medium cavalry. So it can be a decent idea to go mass cavalry, but the hoplites are out, so they're going to be a decent unit to be using against those cavalry nonetheless. As we see a whole bunch of military barracks coming up in the middle of the map here. Remember, Kvoth does have access to this forward town center now as well, so he does have the potential of winning this game by simply just getting forward a 2 town center advantage. But the gold mine right now for Kimo has been secured to some degree with these walls coming up. And Kimo is in a decent position. But Kvoth now, in the second age, will be able to start putting down palaces and everything else here to start getting himself destroyers, as we'll see if that's what he's going to be going for. You also have to remember that the relic has come through for... I don't like this palace in the slightest here with the army here. Just run the villagers, put the palace elsewhere. Whether or not... I don't think that Kvoth can win this fight here at this point, especially with restoration, as the palace trying to get shot up here as fast as it possibly can. We see a Stymphalian bird coming in as the citizen getting targeted down. We will seeing a shockwave to come through here as the Termite going to try and snipe down those Toxotes on the back. These citizen here look like they will be able to get the palace up. Restoration is down, but the palace is up. The villagers here garrisoning inside of the palace here to get some damage, extra damage done from that palace, as they're now going to be retreating away. The army of Kvoth going to be retreating away as well as destroyers coming through. Kvoth is at 100 population. Kimo is at 130 population here as well, as the army fully retreating away. This is a lot of lost population, but those Terma getting sniped down, not the worst thing in the world. And Kvoth now going to have a ton of dryads. He's going to be at full population here. He can go for this 4th town center as well if he really wants to. There's a handful of units getting taken down. The Arcus are out. Units mowing around this position. We do see the villagers starting to come through. You're going to start shanking down the town center here. Will he be able to clean this up or not is the big question. This is part of the reason why I didn't think that palace in the middle of the map was the best of ideas. Putting a palace onto this town center would have helped out quite a bit, as now the army coming through here for Kvoth to start taking this fight. The town center will be falling. We will see another palace getting put up here for Kvoth. Will he be able to get that one up or not? As now 140 population down to 130 population very, very fast. Lots of units going to be falling here for Kimo as the villagers getting pushed off of this palace foundation. And we'll see how things are going to go as the Stymphalian birds still pushing over here to try and get a decent position over on this location around behind the cliff face here to stay away from that Chiron. As now the town center is going to be coming up. Kimo does lose a ton of villagers there. The Arcus are out to help taking these fights. The Destroyer's tanking some decent arrow fire against those Toxotes here. Kvoth getting himself irrigation, getting himself this town center over on this position. The palace on this location will not be going up anytime soon here, as it looks like it's basically just Murmillo Arcus Destroyers here for Kvoth at this point. He is trading nicely. We see the Stymphalian bird getting cleaned up there, as the Chiron going to be getting pushed back. 12 HP remaining there for the Chiron, as the town center of Kimo does look like it's going to be getting up here, as Kvoth can simply put not hold on in these fights. He's going to have to figure out a different way forward. This town center being grabbed here for Kimo basically means this gold mine is secured in a big way, as the temple on the front going to be getting taken down. Another palace going to be coming up here for Kvoth as well. Kimo, if he's smart here, he could move around and deny this town center from going up as well if he just pushes over there. So we do see the Chiron getting sniped down. The Arcus getting some good damage done onto these units over here as well. The Destroyers will be able to take down the temple, but he kind of needs those to be tanking the Toxotes here to allow his Arcus to get all the damage done. As we see copper shields coming through for Kimo. Another palace up on this position as well. Villagers over here on the wood line for Kimo. Going up through Apollo now. It looks like Kimo has basically stabilized here in this game, as Kvoth is just still not quite getting in to that kind of really strong heroic age army. He doesn't have the heavy infantry, doesn't have the heavy archers. The army coming through here for Kimo. Kimo going to be searching onto the corners of the map to stop gold mines from coming in. Kvoth is kind of all over the map here in terms of his gold over here, over here, over here. We see a marker coming up as well for Kvoth to start getting himself some sort of a trade route, as that's just so many units here for Kimo. So many Toxotes in the middle of the map here. How can Kvoth deal with this? He's currently sitting at 27 citizen, which if you do the quick math, it's not quite 90 population. It's 81 population worth of villagers. So he needs to be getting himself fortified town centers to really fight this. As we do see the Dryads here chasing these units away. We'll be able to deal with those relatively easily, but I imagine Kimo might see that low HP citizen and decide to just tank in onto that one. As now we see the army of Kvoth moving around here. He might be able to take down the town center here as well with those destroyers, but the army of Kimo looks like it's in position as the Arcus coming through here to try and get a little bit of a fire onto this gold mine. Not a bad idea there. As the army starting to press forward, we see heavy infantry, heavy archers coming through for Kvoth, as Kimo trying to hold on. Underworld passage getting dropped down on this position. Where else is he going with that one? Underworld from over here to get himself a little bit of a defender's advantage on this position. That's the Stymphalian bird. There's no answer to that Stymphalian bird here for Kimo at this point. The destroyers are doing exactly what they need to do here. But at this point, it looks to me like Kvoth kind of needs a little bit more palace out in order to get the production of destroyers to come through. If you take a quick look at the destroyers, they take 10 seconds to trade. They're relatively fast, but you do need a ton of them out, as both the heavy upgrades are out now for Kvoth, as fortified town center is coming through, and those Arcus are just doing so much damage from afar. We are seeing another Stymphalian bird coming in. The destroyers still sitting in here, tanking damage nicely here. As the Hypaspis coming in, one micro trick here is any of your infantry that are getting targeted, just run them away. The purpose of destroyers here is not actually to deal damage. They only deal 6 damage per second. The purpose of the destroyers is to tank against the Toxotes. So send the destroyers in to sit in front of the Toxotes. Look at how much damage these destroyers tank. And whenever the destroyers are getting targeted by Hephaestus, run the destroyers away. Perfect way to play this from the Atlantean perspective, as opposed to the Hades perspective, which makes it really tough to do this because you have to continually pull your Hephaestus away from the firing line here. But it does look like Kimo is managing to hold here nicely while this is all going on. This gold mine about to be expired, but Kimo does have the gold over here. He's got a market over here as well if he wants to start some sort of a trade route. Kvoth sitting at full population at the moment, but the constant trades are keeping Kvoth's economy very, very low. He's not able to get ahead on those armory upgrades. So he has managed to find himself one slight advantage here by having bronze mail, as the destroyers still pushing forward. We will be seeing the Chiron getting taken down as the Stymphalian birds are massing overhead to take out these Toxotes here really, really nicely. Kimo needs to get himself up like a fortress or something to start getting himself some Chirons out or something like that. He's getting the Chiron out of the town center for the time being here as the army still pushing forward here. As the Toxotes, looking at the difference here. As the Arcus moving forward here to try and sit in front of those Toxotes. You don't really want to do that. He's trying to sit in front of the destroyers to keep him nice in that position, as we do see the Chiron popping through here. Kimo going to be gashing. Look at the damage that the town center does with that many units garrisoned inside it. 40 damage per second times 2. It would one hit the Arcus here. If you just garrison all of your Arcus, yes, you're going to be taking... Wait, I don't actually know. Has anyone ever done the math? How much bonus DPS do you get for jumping into a town center? As Kvoth has to retreat back, we do see a Stymphalian bird now sitting over here, taking villagers off of this gold mine, hurting Kimo's economy. We see a palace now able to come up on the front here for Kvoth. This is vitally important. Kvoth is still just barely sitting full population. I mean, it might just be because he's sitting 99% in a whole bunch of these buildings. Answer is he's actually not. He's not sitting 99% at all here. So barely hanging on as the Chiron coming over onto this position. Kvoth can just use the edge of the map here as a safe haven there if he wanted to. But the palace on the front going to start coming up. That's going to be a big, big help for Kvoth to continue pushing through. Kimo sitting at 130 or 145 population. This gold mine, 1,000 gold remaining. We see villagers coming over here as well as the Chiron, 1 HP remaining, does get taken out. The Stymphalian bird can now start moving back over onto this gold mine to harass that. As on the front, the Stymphalian birds are just getting so much value. This is everything here for Kvoth in this game. Those Stymphalian birds, keeping those alive. Another palace coming up here is Kimo. He's got no defenses here apart from the Toxotes here. As the Arcus are going to be able to take them down so fast. The Hephaestus, there's just not enough Hephaestus here to do much. As Kvoth pulls his destroyers back, he's going to start being able to get a little bit of this micro in. I love this, but you still have to make sure everything sits in the front as Chiron is back out immediately. Going to be getting targeted down here by Kvoth. Kimo going to be doing a nice job here, utilizing the town center to garrison in and out to take down those Stymphalian birds. As Kvoth just needs to bring this Stymphalian bird in to get some damage done, as he is now going to send that through. Having Stymphalian birds on the front and on the side means Kimo's only got 1 unit to deal with them, and he can't deal with both of them at the same time. But as this game is going on, Kimo, he's getting himself fortified town centers. That's going to be a huge help when all is said and done, as we do see the Hephaestus popping out, and he's going to be dealing with those destroyers on the front here as well. See how things are going to go, as now the village is getting cleaned up over here. We see the Chiron coming over into this position to try and take this Stymphalian bird out. We'll see if Kvoth is going to be able to micro that one fast enough. It looks like not just, yes, he is actually able to get away. He takes 1 shot there, maybe 2 shots, as the Stymphalian bird flying all the way into the corner, allowing the Stymphalian birds on the front here to get some serious damage, as we see another palace coming down here for Kvoth. Kvoth doesn't want to go to the heroic age. He just wants to continue pressuring Kimo in this game with multiple buildings on the front here, as the Hephaestus pushing in, getting some good damage done. But the Arcus ball, which Kvoth has created, means that Kimo is just not able to hold on here in this game. Will we see that extra palace coming up? A sky passage coming down here as we see a sky passage sneakily coming up in this position as a fortress coming down now for Kimo over there, as Kvoth realizes if he can get this gold mine hit, it's going to be a huge advantage for him, as this citizen looks like he will be able to get the sky passage up as the Chiron sitting in on that position. We will be seeing the Stymphalian bird coming back in over here, going to get a little bit of damage done as the unit's pulling back for a split second. This is all Kimo needs to hold here. As the Stymphalian bird goes down, the citizen can jump into that location here. The destroyers can just come back onto the town center as the army gets out of position trying to defend this large gold mine for the time being, as a handful of Arcus do pop out here to try and take these fights. But can Kvoth actually push through here or not? Is this the right call, as that town center is getting closer and closer to falling, as well as Kvoth is now at 149 population. He manages to click up through Hecate. Hecate is an option here. I'm not 100% sure I love the Hecate, but he can go for it, as the Arcus here not quite able to win on this position. There's now a couple of llama caravans starting to come through for Kvoth. Still trying to defend over here, as the Palace able to help out ever so slightly. The Arcus not really able to hold on this position, even though they do have that range advantage. As now Kvoth pushes back in to try and take this town center down. The villagers are repairing it back up. There is no masons here for Kimo, but he does have the Hades benefit plus the fortified town centers, so he will be able to hold it for a little bit longer. But it looks like Kimo's town center will be falling here, as Kimo's Hapaspist are out of position to deal with those destroyers. As now Kvoth pushes forward. He's trying to snipe down some of those villagers from the back. The Stymphalian bird's going to be doing some big damage here, as Kimo's town center will indeed fall. As this is going on though, Kimo clicks up to the Mythic Age through Artemis. He manages to make that work. We do see a handful of units on the back here ready to drop some sort of a Tartarian Gate in the main base of Kimo. That's going to be doing tons of damage. I would love to see the Tartarian Gate get used close to this gold mine, in all honesty. That would really, really hurt Kimo in this game, but more often than not, we see the Tartarian Gates getting dropped in the main base here. Maybe taking down some houses or something else. The Arcus is going to be diving in here to get the line of sight to drop that Tartarian Gate down. He doesn't manage to click it in time there, as both the Arcus fall to the units. He could also use it on the underworld passage. Another palace coming down. Does Kvoth have upgrades? Yes, he does. I don't think this is enough here to survive against an earthquake. If you want to hold on to this position, keep throwing military buildings down. As the unit's pushing through, he does find the temple here. He can utilize the Tartarian Gate here to stop a potential Chimera, but we already see Kimo in true form manages to get that one up. Meanwhile, a second temple up, that is. Meanwhile, we do see the units coming through here, going to be looking to drop the Tartarian Gate on this position, potentially to take down that underworld passage. He does find it there, as we're starting to see some fire siphon coming out to start picking off the fortress over here. Artemis does come in. Architects on the way. Will it be too little, too late, however, as the earthquake gets clicked down? 3 palaces getting sniped down there. Architects not in fast enough. And Kvoth, he's clicked his Tartarian Gate over here, but he loses 3 palaces. 600, 1,200. I can't do math. 1,800 resources worth of palace gets sniped down, as we do see the Chimera gets sniped down here. Kimo's Chimera gets converted on this position, as the palace getting created straight away. This Chimera will get picked off eventually. The gold mine almost finished up over here, as the gold on the front. Plenty of palaces still remaining here for Kvoth to spam out these destroyers, as the Arcus continuing to push forward here in this location. Is Kimo pulling back? We will be seeing the fortress starting to go down. We'll see if Kimo can hold here. Kimo's starting to make some Peltast here. Peltast, we all know how I feel about them, but honestly, if you only have around about 4 or 5 Peltast out at a time, and the other units are Toxotes, and you just spend the entirety of the game microing them, it can be a useful unit in your army. But generally speaking, the micro is very tough. His Iron Shield's coming through for Kvoth. He's still just going in with this heavy Arcus destroyer army composition. I'm surprised to see Kvoth picking Iron Shields over champion archers here, but because, I mean, he doesn't need the extra pierce armor for his destroyers, and his Arcus need more damage and HP more so than the extra pierce. So we do see Kvoth running around here with those destroyers. He will be able to get in onto the fortress there to try and take that one out before any sort of Heliopolis start coming out. The Tartarian gate is dealt with over here as the villagers coming through to repair this one back up. But those heavy destroyers, very, very strong. Will they be able to pick this off in time? It looks like the answer here is yes, as those Peltats are starting to take down the Arcus, as they simply just going to retreat back now. The destroyer is going to be tanking a little bit here. I wouldn't mind seeing like a handful of Clontarians coming through here, or even Fanatics actually coming out as well for Kvoth. Just a handful. As another fortress coming up. This gold mine has now got 200 gold left in it. The donkey caravans getting produced by Kimo here. Will there be time for Kimo to get himself a trade route out and not just simply die here? The other problem of getting a trade route out at this point is he's only got the 140 population. So if he gets like his 20 trade route plus those 70 villagers, then he's only got 50 population left to play with. As the villagers moving up onto the storehouse over here. As we do see those Arcus trying to take out the villagers as best as they possibly can. The Hephaestus is going to be able to deal with these units quite nicely as well. As the palace going up on this position for Kvoth yet again. Simply put, he just wants the palace up to grab this town center. He's putting everything into this. As Kvoth has got 80 favor in the bank as well. He might even be considering a Titan in this game after all is said and done. As the palace here, it looks like it might be getting denied for the time being. But that's a lot of units picked off to pick off that palace as it does go down. Kvoth now going to be getting himself coinage. He's going to be throwing down another palace here, I imagine, as Kimo, he's trying to push forward, trying to grab this town center for himself. I wouldn't mind seeing some towers get thrown down here for Kimo, just to hold on to this position. Both players sitting at full population. We see a granary coming up to grab these farms, I guess. As now we see a Heliopolis coming in. And this is a difficult unit for Kvoth to deal with. The real counter to Heliopoli, from the perspective of a Oranos player, is Fire Siphon. You build Fire Siphon, just add those into your army composition. They can deal with the Heliopolis nicely. We see, I mean, a little bit of a misclick here from Kvoth. What you want to be picking off those villages here mostly, as the citizen pulling back over here. Will we see any attempt at a palace here for Kvoth, as he now gets himself the champion Toxotes, or champion archers, Toxotes, whatever. As the Ark is trying to take down that Heliopolis, as it looks like Kimo here, he's going to be getting himself the town center back. Meanwhile, we do see a little bit of raids coming in onto this position from Kvoth, trying to get into a different position on this map. It's vitally important to micro here. And that's why I said the Fire Siphon is so valuable, because not only can you take out the Heliopolis, but you can stop the town center in its tracks. We see one destroyer hitting this town center is just not enough. Meanwhile, the Heliopolis will be able to clean up this palace that Kvoth desperately needs to help out on this location. If Kimo can get this town center up, it's basically game over for Kvoth. So he knows he needs to keep it down as the palace gets cleaned up yet again. As Kvoth tries to move his citizen forward to shank the Heliopolis down, it's going to be getting pulled back there. Nice play from Kimo. Kimo's probably got more Heliopolis queued up in his fortress, as he's now going to have a second one. Kvoth still cannot work out. He needs to get out some Fire Siphon here in this game. Fire Siphon is so good against those Heliopolis, those Toxotes. I mean, they're not going to be doing all too much, but Kvoth trying to throw down the palace yet again on this position, pulling those melee units over here to take down the Heliopoli. As the Toxotes getting cleaned up, Kimo sitting on the back here. We do see some villagers getting sniped down. I mean, Kimo's not going to be too unhappy about losing the villagers, because he needs to get those donkey caravans. He's got them. Meanwhile, in this position over here, we do see the raids onto this town center. One heavy destroyer sitting underneath town center fire. He only takes like 5 damage a shot there from the town center. It's not that much damage at all here, as more villagers coming in to try and get the town center up, as we do see another palace coming through here. As Kvoth stop this town center from coming up, as Bronze Mail coming through here for Kimo as well. He's starting to get those upgrades in. Any attempt at a Fire Siphon. One Fire Siphon. One Fire Siphon. The town center is still getting denied by these destroyers. The pacifists are getting basically free reign on the destroyers now to get max value. And the other thing is we also have this this Sky Passage, which Kvoth could be utilizing to push through, but he's just putting everything in to dealing with this. As we do see the palace is up. He will be able to pick off that that Heliopolis as the destroyer is coming back in onto this position to stop the town center from coming up. And he attempted a fire siphon. He's got the resources to... He doesn't actually have the resources to train it up, but he might be able to get it up at some point here as the Arcus barely able to hold on here as the Toxotes doing a nice job. Well, actually, I mean, they're really not. They're getting tanked by 50% Dryads, 78% Heavy Destroyers. Town Center gets denied here. Kimo getting pushed back. Kimo's got no resources in the bank right now as the Heavy Arcus pushing forward. The Heliopolis getting trained here. Kimo needs like 15 of these, basically. Not 15, but he needs a handful of those to hold on to this position. As Kimo's not able to get that Town Center up, and he has to retreat back as Kvoth has managed to hold on here. As what else can Kimo do here? Champion Infantry coming through for Kvoth as he's slowly setting up. I'd love to see more palace coming up here for Kvoth to push in onto this town center here. The gold mines starting to get completely mined up here, though, as another palace coming down. Kvoth, I mean, he's kind of on a timer in a way. He's on 15 llama caravans. I think llama caravans are more efficient than villages, so if you just kill off a couple of villages that are on the gold mines, you can kind of have a good time with that. As the Dryads pushing through, we do see finally fire siphons coming in. You do also need to have engineers. Engineers is a big help for the fire siphon, gives extra range to take down the enemy Heliopoli. So Heliopolis, this army composition that Kimo is making is pretty much, it's not hard counted, but it's decently counted well enough by Oranos by going fire siphon, destroyer, Arcus, as now Kvoth can start thinking about getting this town center up for himself here. Pushing through, we do see some raids now coming in onto this position, hitting the trade route as the Heliopolis does come in to take down the Sky Passage on this location. But as the distraction has come in, Kvoth will be able to get full control of this town center. Another palace coming in. Kvoth is playing very, very safe here to get this town center up for himself. Another palace means that effectively there's no chance for Kimo to get this town center back. The thing that Kimo isn't doing at all in this game, he's got no resource. He's got a couple of resources now, is he's not going for the side build. If he pushes some villages forward, he can get some gas to feeders to take down a town center at Kvoth. That can be a really nice way to play. As we see the 11 range fire siphon coming in. And the damage does come down nicely onto those Heliopolis. They're coming out for Kimo. Another fortress coming back up as Kimo does lose his fortress there. So where are the rest of Kvoth's units? He's got a whole bunch of idle units making its way over onto this position. It's now that Kvoth has actually taken control of this town, and he doesn't necessarily need to grab it and take it for himself. And he can just make a sky passage over on this location and start pushing this town center down as well as another option if he wants to. As villagers coming back in over here, it is important to retask these palaces here. Maybe take down the storehouse is a easier way to do it. As another how many palaces do you want? You ask Kvoth, and Kvoth just says, yes, I want palaces. As Kimo getting pushed back yet again here. As Kvoth pushing in to check out the villagers on this position there. The Dryads, the Destroyers, taking damage on that position. More units flowing in. I wouldn't mind seeing Kvoth throwing some barracks down on this position instead of having the long walking time to get in onto the front. Wouldn't be a bad idea. And now we see Kvoth clicking up through the Siege of the Titans. I don't like this play from Kvoth. Get yourself iron mail, iron weapons, and just put effort into getting this town center. Getting Siege of the Titans always gives the reprieve to the Hades player to hold on. There are times when, obviously, if you're far enough in front in the economy that it is going to be fine, but I don't feel like Kimo was behind in the economy here in this game to allow this to happen. If you go for upgrades here, you can see that Kimo doesn't have any. Not any. He's got decent upgrades. He's got iron shields. He's got bronze weapons. But you're going to be able to trade better and keep the economy down on your opponent and also try and grab this town center for yourself. But now it's just going to be a Titan for a Titan. And maybe Kimo's going to be able to find his way back into this game. As we see some more Fire Siphon coming out here. He's got no mail upgrades. There is a possibility here as well that Kvoth, instead of going for the Siege of the Titans here, could have gone for heavy cavalry and gone for a very, very quick change into like heavy cavalry, Spirit, Poseidon's Secret, Cantarius, to just completely wipe Kimo out because Kimo's got no armory upgrades in terms of his mail upgrades. So we do see the Titan Gate will be coming down on this position. That's going to be hurting Kvoth's economy here. He's got plenty of economy in the bank for the time being, though. Bronze Mail is coming through now for Kimo. We'll see how it's going to go. Crenellation's coming through for Kimo as well, as the town center is going to be attempting to go up. While this is all going down, the Heliopolis now able to push through some of these palaces. Still Kvoth doesn't have an answer to these Heliopolis besides using his Fire Siphon, which he definitely should be using. One pallet's going to be going down. The Fire Siphon moves in to try and take the Heliopolis down. We do have some random units here taking down towers and things inside of the main base of Kimo. Can Kimo afford to put up his own Titan Gate now that he has hit it? He's getting himself those shades down here as well. The Fire Siphon going to be getting cleaned up. These Fire Siphon should be able to clean up the Heliopolis relatively fast. As another palace coming down here. I wouldn't mind seeing guard towers and towers coming up for Kvoth as well. But the problem here for Kvoth is he's got 4 villagers idle here. He's got 14 villagers idle in his town center as well. And will he be able to continue this production with having such a low amount of economy here? We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, in the main base here for Kimo, Kimo has got this, doing the same thing here that Kvoth is doing. He's got all these villagers on the Wonder here, up to over 30 villagers there on that Wonder to get that up. Not Wonder, Titan Gate, to get that up as fast as he possibly can. Kvoth will have his Wonder first, his Titan out first. Kvoth going to be repairing his palace back up on this position. Still just trying to push Kimo out of this game. Kimo, he's got so many resources in the bank right now. He's not in a good position by any stretch, but he's got so many resources that things like side builds are going to be really, really easy. We do see the units pushing through. They're going to all get taken down by those palaces nicely. Where did the citizen go? Back here. Another way to play this from the Oranos perspective, instead of trying to grab this town center, which seems to be really difficult, you just continue to push through here onto the main town center, take out the houses and everything else. We do see that Kimo trying to defend this as the Fire Siphon pulling back. Shafts of Plague coming through for Kimo as well to help out his Toxotes with a little bit more damage here. More units coming in for Kvoth. The Titan does end up coming up. The villagers are going to be sent back to their previous job here. But now the Titan is out, and there's this weird kind of limbo of almost timing that Kimo can push back, as that Titan is taking up 20 population of Kvoth's army here, trying to push forward. But we will indeed see Kimo's Titan coming out. So at the very best here, Kvoth trades 1-to-1. If not, Kimo is able to trade a little bit better, given he's got those Heliopolis. As the Titan now up for Kimo as he jumps out of the underworld. And the Titan just wanders straight through here for Kvoth. I don't know why he sent it that way. He should be being much more safe with this Titan as he turns around. He's taking this fight. That's a lot of HP lost here. Oh no, this is huge for Kimo. Kimo going to be sending his Titan in as well. You have to quickly start clicking onto the enemy Titan there, as it looks like Kimo's going to get one shot off. He does retreat away. He's going to be slightly out of position. 2 shots off there. As Kvoth retreats back, he does have Mythic Rejuvenation, but this is absolutely huge for Kimo. As Kimo now able to start pushing in, dropping towers down onto this position. I don't know what Kvoth was thinking there. He's getting himself some hero units in onto this position now as well. Kvoth is a full 1,000 HP behind here. As you do see the heroes getting taken down, as Kvoth trying to push in, trying to get some return fire onto this, but he's not fast enough. Kimo will be able to take this down. As we see another palace getting dropped up. A handful of hero units coming in here for Kvoth to try and level the playing field here on this one. But look at this. Kimo, towers are up. Heliopolis pushing forward. Can Kvoth hold here after all is said and done? 2,800 HP. Looks like it's a fairly equal fight after all is said and done here with the help of the Palace, the help of those Hero Arcus. The Titan of Kimo will indeed be falling here in this game. Will Kvoth's Titan survive with any amount of HP is the big question, and it looks like the answer is just barely. 300 HP remaining here for Kimo. Basically here, Kimo should send that through to take out the guard towers and basically just accept his Titan is dead here, because it's even with Mythic Rejuvenation, you want that population back to hold here. And Kvoth, he's lost what used to be an incredibly strong position here. The Gastropheed is coming in to take units out, as the Titan will be able to kill off a handful of stuff over here, as another guard tower will be going down. The Heliopolis still breaking through on this location, as Kvoth doesn't have any answer to them just yet, as the Titan does fall down. Another palace falling, as Kvoth is trying to rebuild his palaces on this position somehow, some way. Kimo's Hades, 20 population down here in this game, is able to push back as we see more towers coming down. The Titan is finished. Iron Mail coming now through for Kvoth, as Kvoth, now that the towers are up, there is no option to go into, there's no real option to go in for Contarius, because those towers are just going to completely mince the Contarius here, as these palaces are just getting, they're just dropping like flies here. As Kimo's got plenty of resources in the bank. He's got himself 28 donkey caravans, 50 villages, towers coming up everywhere. The Gastropheed is able to take down these palaces very, very fast, as well as the Heliopolis coming in onto this position as well. As the guard towers, we do see some destroyers able to push in here as well to take out one tower. And the villagers coming through to try and repair this one back up, as the entirety of this fight focused around this one location for maybe the past 20 minutes. And Kimo's, Kimo hasn't pulled back yet. He hasn't got this town center up just yet. Kimo's resources that once looked very, very healthy, they're all used up. Kvoth is still in this game as he pushes those Gastropheed back here. Those destroyers can take out the guard towers relatively fast. The problem is that Kvoth's gold mine here, 3,000 gold left in it. He needs to get more palaces up. He's dropped down a couple of citizen here as well. We do see now another fire siphon coming in to try and take out the town center. One fire siphon is kind of all you need to completely keep this town center down. Kimo desperately trying to get that one up. And Kvoth is just going to say, not today. So many units, so many trades happening here as the fire siphon rolls through to try and take the guard tower out. A fortress coming up, another palace coming down. This fortress is going to be a big, big help on this position. 23.8 damage per second with 3 arrows compared to the 18 damage. It's a huge amount. It's a huge difference there. As the destroyer's going after these towers as best as they can, the fire siphon going to try and roll around here to prevent the fortress from going up, or at least start getting some early damage done onto it to prevent this location from going anywhere. As engineers now coming through for Kimo as well. That's going to be a big help for those Heliopolis. One thing that Kvoth could be doing, and same to, well, basically just Kvoth here, but Kvoth could be just saying, I see how low the wood is. You can start buying some wood with all of the extra gold income that he's got to to help production of these fire siphons. The Hades army, what can you say about it? It's just so bonkers strong. 20 population lead for Kvoth. Armory upgrade lead. He's got full iron. And Kimo has shorted himself iron weapons and iron mail here thus far. I guess one thing that Kvoth could try is making some hero citizen to come in and shank down the Heliopolis. One little known fact about the hero citizen is that they do get access to the armory upgrades. You can see that they get access to the armory upgrades there. So 60% pierce armor, 243 HP, 57% hack armor. It's a decent unit to have in your army to just take down Heliopolis. Kvoth right now, 145 or 160 population. Just barely able to hold this position, but slowly but surely stuff's coming through. We do see a little bit of a raid coming in onto the trade route. We're doing a little bit of chip damage here, but a lot of population on this position, and he's not actually able to kill off too much stuff. Is the army going to come over here and clear up that unit, those units very, very fast here? I do think just like Hero Citizen would have been a great idea. Take out those Heliopolis. Instead of the fire siphons, Hero Citizen. Just keep making your citizen out. You can stay at full population because you're going to have, well, not necessarily even full population. You can have a whole bunch of them on the front to take out those Heliopolis. Something to try for, definitely a thing that Gaia can use with channels. But to take out the enemy siege easier could be a really good idea. As you do see the fortress starting to come down here, is a little bit of that distraction from Kvoth. Does mean the units got out of position for just a little bit there. As the fortress does go down, the Heliopoli getting pushed back ever so slightly. Kimo still sitting at a decent population here. He doesn't have the resources. Really, I mean, at this point, there's always this like little opportunity for a tech switch into Kontaris if there's no towers to just roll through everything, force out something else, and then just switch back in to the Arcus and everything else. I don't know if it would exactly work here, but how many barracks does he have? He also need a ton of food to kind of make that happen, and he just doesn't have those resources. As another palace going to be going down, we do see the fire siphon up on this position here to help out against all of these units here as more dryads coming through for Kvoth. And we do see more citizen coming forward here to take out the palace. Or build another palace here, but more towers are up here, and Kimo is just holding like a madman. The big thing here is, like, both players are fighting underneath palace, right? So it's not exactly, well, it is. But right now, Kimo with 3 guard towers shooting, Kvoth with 2 palaces shooting. I guess it's kind of the same amount of population here that both players have got in terms of extra guard towers, so it's still fairly equal. There's another palace coming up over here. I wouldn't mind any sort of side build here from Kvoth. Obviously, he's got resources at the moment to place more palaces down, but he wants to put them on this position over here as this fortress getting denied for the time being, as the fire siphon going to be able to take out the guard tower on this position as well. As the fortress does fall there, villagers are going to be getting cleaned up as well as the fire siphon roll through to try and take out this palace, but the villagers are already in position here. How much does it cost? It costs food and wood, right? So what you can do in this position is actually buy food, heroize your citizen, and they're going to be monsters of units. I'd love to see that. I'm sad Kvoth isn't doing that. I think it would be such a good way to play here. Such a hard counter to this army that Kimo's doing. Yeah, the side builds here are not necessarily to kill anything. It's just to distract the units away here to take out the buildings so that you can actually break through on this position mostly. As Kimo still managing to push back, but not really actually managing to push back at all. He's actually found himself in a population deficit here. He's no longer at 140 pop, as Kvoth is. I don't know how he's managing to win these fights a little bit better, as the village is now going to come through and take out the fire siphon. Kvoth will need to pull back. You do not want to lose these fire siphon fast at all here, as the Ark is going to be able to take down some of these villagers, but Kvoth is just saying, kill them. I don't care. I'm not sure I like that play from Kvoth. Pulling back would have been a much safer idea there, as Kvoth loses all those fire siphon. He's still sitting at full population here. As the palace does manage to go down, Kvoth not able to keep his palaces alive in this game. I mean, I do think that, Kvoth is just not utilizing the citizen to pick off Heliopolis, and that's what he needs to do here. Because, well, the units you can use to take out a Heliopolis, there's a couple. You can make catapulties. Those get taken down really fast by the Toxotes, so those aren't an option. You can utilize destroyers because they tank. At least they deal hack damage against the Heliopolis. Not the best. You can use Murmillo. Again, they get taken down really, really quickly against the Toxotes. Fanatics, they get taken down really, really quickly against the Toxotes. Contarius are a decent option here against this. But all in all, Citizen, Hero Citizen with 50% PS armor. Good unit to use to take down Heliopolis. And yes, they're expensive. And maybe that's why Kvoth's not able to make them here. They're definitely an option. So now the Kvoth Fire Siphon rolling in here to try and take this down. We do see a random Petropolis pops out here, as the fortress on the front will be falling to these Fire Siphon yet again. Kvoth is still just trying to break through. We do see one citizen on this position now. He does have a military barracks up and a little bit of harassment coming through. I like that play. Maybe he doesn't even need this many units over here. Just take down the stone gate. Maybe put some other buildings in. Again, it's just a distraction. You're not really trying to do all too much. Killing off a town center would be great, but it's very tough to make that happen. It's been like 20 minutes or more, 30 minutes or more of Mythic Age, and Kvoth still doesn't have himself access to, what's it called? To engineers here. So his Fire Siphon is still very, very low on the range. Put some towers up, Kvoth. Now we see a cheeky little raid coming through here from Kimo, as another market going to be getting put up on this position, as the walls are going to be coming down. We do see a handful of units are already in position to defend against this, but is this going to be enough here for Kvoth to defend? Kimo gets that slide in of units. Beautiful play with the transport ship. I mean, Kvoth could do exactly the same thing on the top side of the map. We'll see if that's going to be a problem, as the market just simply gets destroyed there. And Kimo's going to be able to continue pushing in onto this position to kill this one off. So I think Kvoth at this point, he needs to start putting some buildings back here as well to defend that. Kimo's still trying to break through this position. It's just like a deadlock here, and both players have got no economy. So they can't do anything here, apart from just slam into each other. As the market is up, Pegasus does cost population. It's 2 pop. The transport ship is also 2 pop, so there's a slight win here for Kvoth. He could put a watchtower over here as well, get guard towers and crenellations, and then the transport ship's not going to be able to make it past there anymore as an option. We see another palace coming up here for Kvoth to try and hold on, and Kimo yet again getting his towers back up. You'd think that Kvoth would realize the towers are what's important here. Palace are great. They do decent damage. You get towers up for cheaper. Look at this. They deal 14.4 damage times 2 versus 18.2 damage times 3 for a third the cost or half the cost. For half the cost. So you get 2 guard towers up for the cost of 1 palace. Plus they build faster. So you do see that the Fire Siphon are going to be diving in onto the fortress. Yet again, more towers coming up on this position to help out. That's more Heliopolis rolling through here. We do see some infantry units are out. Meanwhile, on this position, Kimo going to be pulling his transport ship back. As the fortress does go down, the tower's going to be going down as well. When the unstoppable force meets the immovable object, who wins? This is the ultimate definition of unstoppable force versus immovable object, is it not? It is. This is the ultimate anything. The Heliopolis managed to break another palace here. Kvoth is kind of now starting to get pushed back as Kimo is getting his towers up. He's got a lot of... He doesn't actually have that many resources in the bank. Kvoth, on the other hand, he could also be putting these towers up. He's got plenty of resources here. Do we see the trade? Oh. I like this play here from Kimo. Why not? Why not go for some Gastrophetes here? He's going to be going after this town center. If Kvoth loses that town center, it is game over. It's a lot of population here now, though. 15 population and the 1 Ajax. The 1 Ajax is there to deal with the Dryads that are over here. And we'll see if Kvoth is going to be able to notice this. As Kvoth does manage to push through, these towers did manage to get up, so it has bought Kimo some time to make this raid work. So we'll see how things are going to go. And one of the huge things about playing as the blue color in Age of Mythology is if you look at the minimap, it can be really, really tough to see a blue dot moving forward. And I mean, the Gastrophetes can actually just hit the market as well as another really nice way to play here. Nice way to slow down the Kvoth war machine. He does pop out over here with those Gastrophetes to take out the market, cleaning that one up. Look at the damage. 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots at half HP. So 6 shots in the market is going to be down. Do we see another market anywhere else? No, this is, and we do see that Kvoth's going to come over there to get his market back up in the corner, but he will have a slight dip in gold income here. One thing to realize is once your llama caravans, if this ever happens to you, the best way to play around it is once your llama caravans hit idle, you want to be sending them back to the market immediately manually. And you can actually put them all into a control group to make this happen. So you just repeatedly clicking idle villager control group, send them back over here. And then once the market is up, you right click on the market with that control group and then you shift click and you click back on the town center and then back to work, and you actually don't end up losing any time there. As Kvoth needs to come back over here and deal with these units yet again. I'd love to see Kvoth reacting here, even just a little bit. A tower or something on the side of the map. And maybe even going for his own little side build into this corner as well wouldn't be a bad idea. Meanwhile, look at the wood. The wood is all chopped up here. I mean, there's still plenty of wood on the map. This isn't a regular... this is a regular amount of wood for a late game here. Generally speaking, there's maybe an hour and a half-ish worth of wood on a map, but on a regular Age of Mythology map, but on a map like Painted Desert, the wood is maybe more like 2 hours worth of wood here before both players are going to have to start going into something very, very different. Palace still getting cleaned up over here. Tons of these Heliopoli are in here. The Dryads are a good option, actually, against the Heliopolis after all is said and done, because they've got a decent amount of pierce armor, a decent amount of HP, and a decent amount of damage. But Kvoth, he just cannot make it through here. He cannot work it out. We do see, Gastrophetes coming in onto this position yet again. Kimo having fun with these Gastrophetes. What is his plan now? He can go up to the town center or something and potentially catch Kvoth out here as an option. As we do see the Perseus back in to deal with these Dryads as well. And Kimo is just continually sending his transport ship to attack this market. We'll see if Kvoth is going to be doing anything different this time. As he pushes Kimo back ever so slightly. So all the population is over here. Not all of it, but a significant amount of population over there. As Kvoth is able to get down yet another palace. We do see that the champion fanatic is in position here. Can these Gastrophetes hit the market from this position? They might be able to. We see Kvoth already dropping the market over here as well, as that one fanatic might be enough to deal with this. Look at that. It's in range. Those Gastrophetes are so strong. Kvoth going to be ready to send his... Can he come over there or not? Looks like he can't, as the market will get taken out on that position. Kvoth with plenty of gold in the bank for the time being, though. As the market goes down, Kvoth's trade route. Will he get the market up before the llama caravans get back? It looks like he will. Or do they get trade? Do they get resources here? Yes, they do. That's very lucky there. It's the Kimo villagers pushing back in now. He might be attempting to get the town center up with all of his villagers here. He's got the resources to try it. There's already a fire siphon out, though, so that's going to be a no-go for Kimo. If Kimo just puts up a ton more towers here, he should be fine, though. So do see that the Gastrophetes have been cleaned up. More markets going to be coming up there for Kvoth. I wouldn't mind just seeing him put a whole bunch up. He's got resources for it, but... Town center now on the way here. Kimo wants it up. He's got 18 villagers on it here, with more army pushing forward. Kimo is doing his best. We do see the fire siphon is out. Fire siphon is continually coming out of here to stop this town center from coming up. As Kimo is like, well, what if I just take all my villagers off and just try and get the town center up? Well, the problem here is, if the town center doesn't go up, then you're not going to be able to continue production of the units as best as you possibly can, because you don't have that economy. As one fire siphon is down, the town center getting cleaned up on this side as well. As another fire siphon pops out, as this one does fall down as well. The melee unit's going to be pushing in to try and take down the Heliopoli. Kimo's got plenty of resources, though. He's got all the resources he needs here, it seems. The army's still just breaking through onto this position. I wouldn't mind seeing a handful of Gastrophetes here, actually. Because the Gastrophetes, he could use those to take down the palace from afar, and that would be a tough unit for Kvoth to actually clean up here as well. As the palace does go down, Kvoth dropping down to 123 population. I'm not sure where it all went there, as his economy does slip, his production does slip here, and the town center looks like it may be coming up. Kvoth desperately trying to send his fire siphon forward, does manage to get in, but it's only going to be a little one shot of damage there, as the town center is getting shot up incredibly fast here, and Kimo, after, I don't know, 50 minutes of gameplay here, finally going to be getting his town center up, or at least it looks like it. As Kvoth is at 112 population here, simply just not able to hold on against the Destroyer Wrath, and Kimo in the 1 hour mark, claims victory against Kvoth's Oranos, as Kvoth, simply put, could not manage to get the town center up and claim this game. He could not get the damage done. And Kimo gets the win here. I mean, there was options for Kantaria's transition. There's options for the like hero citizens in your army to take out those Heliopolis. Lots of different options here for Kvoth, but he just could not find the answer. And Kimo gets the dub. I don't know what to say about this game. An absolutely insane game. Units killed, lost is absolutely ridiculous. The timeline over here of resources is Kvoth is fairly in the advantage for the entirety of the game. And Kimo just does not lose here. I don't know what else to say. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.